The best faction of Andromeda's Edge is the Jelluloid Technoblorps. And yes, we made that faction as long as ridiculous as that so that someday I would have to say it in a faction video. I love it. I love how silly this is. The Jelluloid Technoblorps is kind of an homage to our first game made at Cardboard Alchemy called Mission Catastrophe, because in that game there was a blob-like creature called Blorp Johnson. Cute little blob. I don't think they have last names in that culture, but Blorp looked at a name tag, saw the name Johnson, and decided, that's my last name, and the rest is history. And Sergio Chavez was the artist of Blorp Johnson and illustrated Andromeda's Edge. And so when we told him Luke and Maximus have a blob faction, he was absolutely ready to go because he'd already drawn this really cute all-orange blob creature. Now, the Jelluloid Technoblorps are an absolute blast to play. They are as fun as their name to say. The first power that you have is ADHESIVE OOZE. That's right, they can reconstruct their molecules in space. How it plays out? Well, if you ever have 3 or less damaged modules, you get to treat those modules as if they were undamaged. That's right, you don't care. You can have damaged stuff. Now, Andromeda's Edge is full of precursor technology. It's often broken. You've got these science modules, the industry modules, civ and commerce modules, and they're usually, a lot of them are broken, but if you have some of them in your engine, you don't care. And that manifests itself in a lot of really cool ways. For example, when an event happens, you take a hit for every single module that's damaged, but if you have 3 or less, you don't care. The Technoblorps aren't bothered by that, and you can use really powerful modules called obliterated modules. If you happen to have our special module pack that we released on the campaign, or that's available later in retail, and something called the Exotic Matter, there's these double damaged modules, and the Technoblorps don't care. So it's really great to have ADHESIVE OOZE. If you can stay on top of it, if you get that 4th damage, that all of a sudden everything doesn't work, but as long as you stay 3 or under, then you are not dinged for any of that damage. You can use all of those modules, and even at the end of the game, when there is negative points for damaged modules, again, it does not matter to you. You can withstand a lot of that damage that other people cannot. Now, your second power is called Fixer Upper. That's right, because you're a little industrious faction of Technoblorps, and anytime you gain a damaged module, and let me just tell you, you have the incentive to do so, you are going to get a tactics card. The tactics cards are one of the secret weapons of this game. They have things like combat cards, they have things like anti-combat cards, they have maneuverability, they have sustaining effects that can last the entire game, and the Technoblorps are going to be able to get their blobby little fingers on all of those cards if you get damaged modules, which, by the way, is what you're trying to do anyway because you don't care about damage. So these things combine really well, but then it also really works in their special ship, which is called Slimer. That's right, we have a Ghostbusters reference in this game. Slimer is a really fun ship. It's a transport upgrade, which means when you get a transport upgrade, it applies to all of your transports in the game, and you can get up to 6 transports. And each of the Slimer ships do something that we've always wanted to do in this game, which is kind of make you impervious to damage and combat. So when you take a hit normally, you go to the scrapyard. You would need to repair to go into the repair barge, which is the section of the scrapyard that can be used to activate your engine. But the Slimer ship slimes right into the repair barge. You do not wait. You are not damaged in the scrapyard. You're immediately in the repair barge, which means at least for your transports, you are not having to waste repairs, which you may eventually need to do on your very heavily damaged space station. You're not going to waste those on your Slimer ships. They're going to be in the repair barge, and they're going to be able to activate and come back to your engine. What this tends to mean is that once the Jelluloid Technoblorps get going, they tend to have an unstoppable momentum because you're getting modules all the time and you're able to use those modules instantly. The obliterated modules, for example, are some of those powerful ones in the game, and if you can use them straight out of the gate, you're going to be able to get your engine going straight out of the gate. You're going to be able to take risks that other people can't take. You're going to be able to go into dangerous areas because your ships will go right in the repair barge and it doesn't slow you down. You're going to be able to take damage. You're going to be able to trigger the event and not worry about it dinging you points. So the Jelluloid Technoblorps are actually a really flexible and fun faction to play. I absolutely love the artwork. I love the getting into character as a blob, and I love not as like laughing at everybody else when they take damage, and I'm absolutely without a care in the world about all these modules that are broken down. I can still use them. It actually allows you to ignore a part of the game that normally kind of hampers you from playing that engine builder, and instead you get to control Andromeda's Edge with a bunch of cute little blobs.